couple miles away from Washington at a campaign rally in Battle Creek, Michigan.
It doesn't really feel like we're being impeached.
They don't even have any crime. This is the first impeachment where there's no crime. We did nothing wrong, nothing whatsoever. This lawless partisan impeachment is a political suicide march for the Democrat Party. Have you seen my polls in the last 4 weeks?
Just the day before, the president had issued a 6-page letter to Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, accusing the Democrat of abusing power and subverting democracy. History will judge you harshly, he wrote.
When Jesus was falsely accused of treason, Pontius Pilate gave Jesus the opportunity to face his accusers.
Wednesday's impeachment vote followed more than 11 hours of often rancorous debate and was almost entirely along party lines. All but 2 Democrats voted in favor of impeachment. Every Republican voted against it.
I'm about to say something my Democratic colleagues hate to hear. Donald J. Trump is president of the United States.
The themes and arguments on the House floor that night will be familiar to anyone who has followed the process from the beginning and lent an almost anticlimactic feeling for most of the day.
President Trump's behavior is exactly what our founders feared most.
Then it was time to vote. The first article, abuse of power, passed with 230 yeses, 197 noes. The second article, obstruction of Congress, also passed. 229 yeses, 198 noes. And that was it. By the end of the night, Donald Trump had his unwanted place in the history books.
We have done what we have set out to do. The House has acted on a dark, sad day to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. So we will make a decision as to when we're going to send it, when we see what they're doing on the Senate side. But that's a decision that we will make soon.
There's a delay, however. Democratic Speaker Nancy Pelosi said she will wait to officially send the articles of impeachment to the Senate until the trial rules are determined.
The House's vote yesterday was not some neutral judgment. The Democrats came to with great reluctance.
It's a tactic to pressure Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to conduct the trial to the Democrats' liking. McConnell seems unmoved.
It was the predetermined end of a partisan crusade that began before President Trump was even nominated, let alone sworn in.
Everyone will have to wait. The House and the Senate have adjourned for 2 weeks, and Donald Trump is have to spend Christmas at his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida. It's not likely to be a relaxing time, however. Trump is itching to have the Senate exonerate him, and his growing frustration could spoil everyone's holiday plans. It may be a brief Christmas calm, but a winter storm is coming.
By Anthony Zucker, ending with the Washington International Chorus performing a special commission for BBC Online. You can watch the whole song on the BBC website on Monday. Anthony, though, is still with us. And Anthony, there's a delay. Assuming it gets resolved, what happens next?
Well, the Senate trial happens next. That's what's spelled out in the U.S. Constitution. Now, the delay in part is over what that trial will look like. Will there be witnesses called? What kind of evidence can be introduced? How long it's going to take? When it's going to start? All these things need to get hammered out. And what Nancy Pelosi is trying to do right now is use this delay to get leverage to help force Mitch McConnell to do something that the Democrats want. But I'm not sure how much leverage she's going to have. But the trial will be all 100 senators sitting as a jury, presided over by the Chief Justice of the United States. And then at the end of it, there'll be a vote. And if 67 senators vote in favor of removing the president, he will be removed from office. But you have to remember, there are 53 Republicans in the chamber, more than enough to acquit him. And none of them at this point seem very inclined to side with the Democrats.
Well, President Trump himself told that rally in Michigan, was it? Have you seen my poll numbers? And are they high?
His poll numbers are about where his poll numbers have been throughout his presidency. I mean, that's one of the incredible things about all of this, and not just impeachment, but all of his presidency. There's been storm and drama, there's been drama, there's been controversy, there have been protests, There's been impeachment. There have been these witnesses coming forward, and by and large, Donald Trump's approval ratings have sat in the high 30s to low 40s throughout the entire process. It's like the American public has made up its mind about Donald Trump already, and nothing at this point is going to change it, which will make for a very interesting presidential election next year because he has a solid base behind him, but there is also a very solid group of Americans who seem not inclined to support him under any circumstances.
So how has, would you say, impeachment changed the political dynamic in the United States?
Well, you know, it's almost like impeachment has reflected this political dynamic within the country. If you look at public support for impeachment before Nancy Pelosi's announcement that there was going to be this official inquiry into Donald Trump, more Americans were opposed to impeachment than they were in favor of it. But shortly after that announcement, the polling for it fell in line largely with one's views of Donald Trump. I think it shows that it's going to be a very close election come next November, and nothing is going to change that.
Anthony, many thanks for that, and I for one hope that you don't have too many interruptions to your own celebrations this festive season. That's it from this edition of News Hour, from me, Julian Marshall, and the rest of the team in London. Goodbye.
This is the BBC World Service, and here's Harriet Gilbert to tell you about January's World Pick Club.
Naomi Alderman joins me to talk about the power. In the newly created Republic of Women, teenage girls have the ability to electrocute people at will. It's a what-if story about power, who holds it, who controls it, and how it's used.
World Book Club with Naomi Alderman from the 4th of January. And in 30 minutes, World Football with Manny Jasby.
After the fallout from Mesut Ozil's comments about China's treatment of Uyghur Muslims, we discussed the dilemma faced by clubs of supporting their player while not downgrading potentially lucrative sponsors. And I'll ask Heather O'Reilly and Pat Nevin for their football wishes for 2020.
This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
Hi, I'm Rory Catherine-Jones, and on today's Tech Tent, we've got a very special festive edition of the show. I'll be joined by BBC Tech reporters Chris Fox, Zoe Kleinman, Dave Lee, and Jane Wakefield for a quiz about this year's biggest technology news. And we want you to play along with us, wherever in the world you're listening, to test your own knowledge and see whether you can beat our team. So, to get you in the mood, here's a question for you just for practice. Listen to this question. Sir?
Yeah. Maybe that was a little too hard. It didn't go through. So that's the plus side.
So here's the question. Who was that tech entrepreneur? What exactly was he reacting to? What was it? What was it about? Tweet us what you think the answer is at BBC Tech Tent, and I'll give you the answer after the news.
News, I'm John Shea. The British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has secured the backing of the House of Commons for a second reading of his Brexit bill, pushing the country closer to a departure from the European Union. 3.5 years and 2 parliaments after Britain voted to leave the EU, the now Conservative-dominated lower chamber passed the bill by a large majority. Nick Earty reports.
This afternoon's vote was the first under the new government, and a clear illustration of the power Boris Johnson now wields in Parliament. His comfortable majority shows the parliamentary battles over Brexit are over, and the UK will leave the European Union next month. There will still be challenges, but the vast majority will be in Brussels rather than the Commons. Mr Johnson told MPs his deal was a chance to move on from Brexit labels of leave and remain. Labour's leadership refused to back it, though a number of their MPs abstained and 6 rebelled to vote with the government.
The International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor,
Bensouda, says she believes war crimes have been committed in the Israeli-occupied Palestinian territories. If Ms. Bensouda proceeds with an investigation, charges could be filed against Israelis or Palestinians. Here's Alan Johnston.
The ICC prosecutor has conducted a preliminary examination of Palestinian complaints regarding the situation in the West Bank, East Jerusalem and Gaza. Now she says she's satisfied that war crimes have indeed been committed there. But she's asked the court to confirm that it has jurisdiction over these areas before she launches a full investigation. Israel has vigorously denied that the ICC has any legal authority in the Palestinian territories and says the case should have been thrown out.
The parliament in Cameroon has passed a law which grants special status to the country's two English-speaking regions. It's part of an effort to calm a 2-year separatist insurgency. Here's Will Ross.
This new special status should mean some policy is determined by a new regional assembly in the English-speaking regions instead of the central government making all the decisions. But the law's quite vague. One opposition politician said it was full of nothing. Another said it offered far too little, too late. The Cameroonian President Paul Biya appears to have accepted that the decades-long experiment to assimilate the part of the country once run by the British into the former French colony has failed. But that doesn't mean he's offering a solution to stop a conflict that's preventing more than 800,000 children from going to school.
Poland's parliament has adopted a law that makes it easier for the government to fire judges, despite a plea from the European Commission to wait. Under the new legislation, judges can be dismissed, fined or demoted for dissent, including questioning the legitimacy of new judges chosen by a council that the government now controls. World news from the BBC. Twitter has carried out one of the social media giant's most comprehensive crackdowns on state-sponsored information operation. It says it's removed almost 6,000 accounts originating in Saudi Arabia after an internal investigation. Twitter said many of the accounts were created and managed by Smart, a social media marketing and management company based in Saudi Arabia. Protesters in Belarus are holding their biggest rally yet against closer integration with Russia. Around 2,000 people waving the red and white banner of Belarusian independence chanted slogans against the plans for integration that President Alexander Lukashenko has been discussing with President Putin. A court in Belgium has sentenced a former Rwandan official convicted of genocide to 25 years in prison for his role in the massacres of 1994. 71-year-old Fabien Neretse, who was arrested in France in 2011, never admitted to the crimes and has not expressed any regret. He was also convicted of war crimes for 11 killings in Rwanda. The Bangladeshi who founded the world's largest non-profit organisation has died. Sir Fazle Hassan Ahmed was 83. He founded the Bangladesh Rural Advancement Committee, or BRAC, in 1972 to provide assistance after the country's bloody independence war and a cyclone that killed 500,000 people. Charles Hapgood reports.
Fazle Hassan Ahmed had been climbing the corporate ladder with the oil giant Shell when in the early 70s he realized the scale of need in Bangladesh and felt his life as an executive was meaningless. From then on, he decided to change lives. His organization, BRAC, was, and remains, built around extending small-scale loans, educating children, and teaching women about healthcare. Now operating in 11 countries, BRAC is said to have lifted 150 million out of poverty. Paying tribute, a senior BRAC official said that Fazle Hassan Ahmed always put others before himself.
Hello and welcome to this very festive